What if the flat earthers were right, and the Earth was, in fact, flat? How would gravity work? Would we still have time zones, changes of seasons? Would the conditions for life here on Earth exist at all? This is What If, and here's what the Earth would look like if it was flat. First of all, forget about walking to its edge. Gravity would simply not let you. Wait, would gravity even be possible on a flat Earth? The answer is yes, of course. The force of gravity is what keeps our planet, or any other planet, together. It's what forms a planet in the first place. In the case of a pancake-shaped Earth, the force of gravity would pull you to the center and would become stronger as you tried to walk away from it, pulling the top of your body backwards. It would feel as if you were climbing a hill that was getting steeper and steeper and steeper. By the time you reached the edge, down and behind you would be the same direction. Sound weird? How about water being sucked into the center of the Earth? Or diagonal trees growing in the opposite direction of gravity's pull? And then there's the sun. How would a flat Earth behave in space? One flat Earth theory is that the sun revolves around the Earth, not the other way around. What if the sun orbited the Earth just like the moon does? In that case, you'd never suffer jet lag because there'd be no such thing as time zones. The sun would light up both the top and the bottom of the planet. This would mean constant light, no day and night cycle. Also, no seasons or solar eclipses. The sun itself would have to be much smaller, otherwise it would burn the Earth to a crisp. It would probably fry the planet anyway, as there would be no geomagnetic field to protect Earth from its radiation. The geomagnetic field is generated in the solid core of the Earth and keeps our atmosphere from escaping. Without it, cosmic rays would bombard our bodies, causing everything from cancer to DNA damage. The oceans would escape into space, and so would the air and all our oxygen. But let's assume that a flat Earth had an alternative to our magnetic field. This way, you'd still be alive to notice some of the strange flat Earth effects. Like your shadow. Say you had a friend just as tall as you, but they lived 1,000 miles away. On a sunny day, your shadows would be the very same length. Because unlike here on a spherical Earth, the sun's rays would hit both of you at the same angle. And if you two were to meet up, traveling would turn out very different. Let's take a map introduced by the Flat Earth Society. Yeah, the one that shows the Arctic at the center and Antarctica as an ice wall around the edges. In this world, it would take you 32 hours to fly from Australia to Argentina. Did we mention there'd be no GPS? Satellites wouldn't be able to orbit a flat Earth, leaving humanity with no navigation and no synchronized time. This means no ATMs, no credit cards, no high-speed stock market transactions. On the bright side, with a good pair of binoculars, you could see Dubai's Burj Khalifa from any part of the flat world. But let's be honest, you don't need to build your own rocket to see that the Earth is not flat. The evidence is all around us. But let's go even deeper. A flat Earth would fundamentally change the laws of physics as we know them. Einstein's theories of relativity, both special and general, depend heavily on space-time curvature, a property defined by mass and shape. A flat Earth would break that model, disrupting everything from how time passes to how light travels. For example, without curvature, GPS satellites wouldn't just fail to orbit, they wouldn't even know what direction to send a signal in. Communication across long distances would rely entirely on ground-based infrastructure, which would be more vulnerable to weather, interference, and failure. The very concept of planetary formation wouldn't make sense either. Our understanding of planets forming in disks of gas and dust around stars due to gravitational collapse requires spheres. A flat Earth would defy that process, and no celestial mechanics could explain its stability. Also consider tectonic plates. On a round Earth, tectonic activity creates earthquakes, volcanoes, and mountain ranges. On a flat Earth, it's unclear how pressure from the mantle would be released. Would there even be tectonic plates? Or would the planet eventually rupture under its own internal stresses? The atmosphere would also behave differently. Without curvature, weather systems would form differently or not at all. The Coriolis effect, which causes hurricanes to spin, would cease to exist. Winds might blow chaotically across the surface, possibly making life more difficult or even impossible in many regions. And what about astronomy? If the Earth were flat, stargazing would be drastically different. Constellations would appear the same from every location, eliminating centuries of astronomical navigation based on the position of stars. The North Star would be visible from everywhere on the flat disk, which isn't the case in reality. Worse yet, space exploration would be either impossible or based on a totally different physics. Rockets launched from a flat surface would not reach orbit, they would simply fall back. We wouldn't have the International Space Station, satellite communication, or any reliable method for observing the universe beyond our planet. And if you believe in the idea of an ice wall surrounding the Earth, Antarctica stretched out as a rim, it brings up even more questions. What lies beyond the wall? Why hasn't it been explored? Who maintains it? Flat Earth theories often lean into conspiracies to explain this, but none provide scientific evidence or physical mechanisms for such a structure's existence or stability. Lastly, life itself would be at risk. Without proper climate regulation, temperature extremes between the center and the edges of the flat Earth would be unlivable. You might have a tropical climate in the center and icy wastelands near the rim, all without a consistent and predictable weather cycle. Farming would be near impossible. Ecosystems would collapse. Human civilization would never have developed as it has today. So, while it's fun to speculate about alternative realities, the evidence overwhelmingly supports a round, spinning Earth orbiting the sun. From gravity to weather, from day and night to global travel and communication, our lives are shaped and sustained by the planet's spherical nature. In short, if the Earth were flat, nothing, absolutely nothing, would work the way it does now. But maybe, just maybe, that's what makes our round Earth so beautiful, so unique, and so real. If you enjoyed this mind-bending journey into the world of What If, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Infinite If, and drop a comment below to tell us what wild scenario you'd like us to explore next. Until next time, stay curious, stay questioning, and keep wondering what if.